Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar, highlighting ways to use technology to expand your nonprofit's impact. If you're new to Jotform, welcome. Jotform offers a suite of no-code solutions designed to help organizations collect, share, and manage data. It all starts with our incredibly powerful drag and drop form builder. Today, we're excited to share some technology best practices to support your mission and help you make the most of your resources. I'm grateful to have two of my colleagues joining us. Morgan is our webinar manager, and she'll be monitoring the chat. And Kat, our customer success manager, will provide a demo so you can leave this session ready to put these ideas into practice. One final note, this webinar is being recorded and it will be posted to our YouTube channel for future reference. So let's get started. Here's a quick overview of what we'll be discussing. First, we'll review what's impacting nonprofits today. Next, we'll dive into ways to cut costs with technology. Then we'll talk about trust and how technology can help you build and deepen it. Next, we'll share how technology can communicate your nonprofit's impact. And after that, Kat will demonstrate these strategies in practice. And at the end, we're going to highlight some resources. So if you want to go deeper on any of these topics, you'll have the opportunity to do so. And then we'll wrap up with a little Q&A. So please stay tuned for questions. If you've been reading the headlines, you've likely wondered how market uncertainties and layoffs could influence donations and your foundation investments. According to new data from the Fundraising Effectiveness Project, giving was up 4.7% in the first 3 quarters of 2022, but the number of individual donors was down 7.1% compared with 2021. The potential loss of funding is particularly troubling for nonprofits with limited cash reserves to get them through these times. Another concern is the burnout experienced by nonprofit employees, which causes some to seek new roles and higher compensation. This is why we're here today, to learn how to use technology to close these gaps, save money, save time, and promote your mission. If your organization is operating with legacy systems, it can be worthwhile to look for holistic solutions to replace them. The more systems you use, the more systems you have to maintain, which includes tracking and implementing security updates. Legacy systems can also isolate data, hindering data-driven decisions that let you send the right message to the right people at the right time. Single service subscriptions, like e-signatures, for example, can add costs and complexity without a lot of added value. Several organizations have reduced their costs by enabling Jotform Sign, which offers unlimited signatures to our enterprise customers, and it also integrates seamlessly with their forms and data. Simply making the switch from paper-based to digital processes reduces paper, printing, and storage costs. Technology that converts paper-based forms to digital fillable PDF files can help you make that transition fast. Enabling digital payments and speeding processing with online forms means you can put your donation dollars to work even faster. No-code solutions are being adopted by organizations around the globe because they reduce the strain on IT resources and empower employees. Technology that offers a user-friendly, intuitive experience will speed adoption and maximize the return on your investment. Responding to email, emailing out status updates, and manually pulling reports can be a tremendous strain on your time. Wherever you have repeatable processes, technology can help you automate and streamline. At the most basic level, an online form can send a notification email to let members, donors, or volunteers know you've received their information. Taking it a step further, you can design an approval workflow to automatically route documents and prompt decisions. For example, you could create a registration form for volunteers to indicate where and how they would like to serve. You could then route those forms to team leads for review and approval, and then send out additional information and waiver forms to volunteers once they're approved. Reporting is another necessary but time-consuming task. When evaluating your technology stack, look for technology that provides automated reporting on your existing data and allows you to integrate with other systems for holistic reporting. Technology can also inform your ask. Surveying your donors and monitoring their engagement on campaigns will help you understand what issues your donors care most about. Reporting on giving trends can also ensure you ask for the right amount, so you don't leave money on the table and you continue to build a rapport with your donors. The majority of consumers trust nonprofits, but working to keep and deepen their trust can only help your organization. You continue to build trust when your donors feel heard and when they see their values in your actions. By selectively surveying your community, you can learn which campaigns they are most likely to support and in what ways. Use the survey responses to build targeted capital and communications campaigns that personalize your asks, highlight the impact of donations, and deepen that trust. In addition to building trust with donors, nonprofits that have links to their board members, key staff, audited financial statements, IRS Form 900, and donor privacy policy clearly marked on their website are likely to receive a higher rating from nonprofit watchdog and evaluator Charity Navigator. The increasing volume and sophistication of phishing scams means that every detail matters. Select technology solutions that ensure your online appearance is on brand, complete with custom URLs. The role of security in building trust cannot be overstated. First and foremost, technology should help you process donations and payments that meet the highest security standards. Look for Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard, or PCI DSS compliance. When evaluating technology vendors, ask about integrations with your single sign-on provider. At a minimum, SSO integrations will secure access to information. Ideally, you can use an SSO integration to pre-fill or pre-populate data, which automates data entry and keeps your database cleaner. You can partner with your IT team to review existing technology and potential vendors to identify risks and ways to minimize costs and complexity. Finally, if your organization is regulated or has to meet compliance standards, make sure the technology you use makes it easy for you to store, manage, and report on that data to meet those requirements. People are conditioned to getting up-to-the-minute, personalized information. Technology that offers real-time reporting can help you analyze and communicate campaign performance and show donors the value of their support. Take advantage of mobile-friendly forms and apps to collect and share campaign photos from the field and connect with your community wherever your work takes you. Today's no-code solutions can even help you create apps to serve as online portals where you can share information about recent achievements, educational opportunities and events, or shine a spotlight on new initiatives. Now that we've shared strategies for leveraging technology to increase your nonprofit's impact, I'd like to introduce my colleague, Kat, to actually show you how you can put these ideas into practice with Jotform Enterprise. Take it away, Kat.
Great. Thanks so much, Lainey. And hi, everybody. As Lainey mentioned, my name's Kat. I'm a customer success manager with Jotform Enterprise, and I'll be walking you through some of the features that would best profit nonprofit organizations within Jotform. So I'll start sharing my screen. Oh, Lainey, I might need you to stop sharing yours, and then perfect. Great. Okay, so is everybody able to see my screen here with Jotform in the top left corner? Perfect. So when we log into our server, we're going to land on this page. It's the My Forms dashboard here. Here's where we can manage, edit, and share any individually owned forms. You can see that I already have one created here. This form might be similar to something that you would create as an organization looking to collect donations, for example. So you can see in the form here in my enterprise server forms dashboard. To start working within the form, we're going to click into edit form and to be taken to the form builder, which I already have open here. Now that we're in the builder, we can add in some form elements that you would want to have to be able to collect respondent data, whether you're collecting volunteer information or in this case, collecting donations. In this example, I've added in some basic contact information you can see here on our basic form elements using our drag and drop functionality. And then I've just simply dragged and dropped it into the desired fields into where I'd like them on the form itself. I've also added a couple of different widgets from our long list of available widgets here. These are, if we scroll down, the PDF Embedder widget, which you can embed a static PDF in for your respondents to review. So whether that's a donor agreement or terms and conditions, which of course then goes hand in hand with our term and conditions widget. As mentioned, this could be a static document that the respondent can scroll through in PDF format, or you can link to a page on your website, if we go into the widget settings here, that your respondent may need to review prior to submission. I've also included a signature widget to collect signatures from each respondent, or in this case, donor. You can easily toggle on our Jotform sign feature to automate the collection of those legally binding signatures, to disable form editing, and you can also receive an audit trail for the corresponding signature or signatures. As Lainey mentioned, you can collect unlimited signatures with Jotform sign. I also wanted to point out before we move on that you can see here that we have properties for each field. Each of our fields have their own properties, including like our name field, email, and you can customize these the way that you like, including their orientation on the form, the field size, and more. So we do have those options within there to just make it look exactly the way you like it. Now, to collect payments here, you can see here that I have integrated the form with one of our 30+ payment integrations, and we can customize the payment settings as we'd like. So if we go to payment settings here, you can see that I've integrated this form with our Stripe integration. I've used it for test mode, of course, for this example, and I've set the payment type here to collect donations. But as you can see, you can select different payment modes if you choose to do so, including recurring payments. With our payment integrations as well, there's no requirement for the minimum chargeable amount or any third-party processing fees, since you're directly integrated with your selected payment integration. So for the collect donations type, you can have your respondents either indicate within the box here the amount that they'd like to donate, or if you do have structured donation levels, you can nominate these using a field like our single choice field like I've done here. We'll head back into those properties there, and then I've set calculation values. You can see here that I've just set increments of 10 to match the donation values here. Next, we would add a widget, which is another very popular widget, our form calculation widget. I've labeled this donation amount. When we hop into our widget settings, we just make sure that whatever the calculated value from the selected donation tier is purported into the form calculation widget. Then we'll head back into our payment settings here. You can see here, get price from donation amount, which is our form calculation widget. You can also see that I've gone in the properties, advanced, and I've hidden this field from the form so that the donor won't see it. Within the payment processor, you can use this to control the donation amounts that your form receives if you'd like to do that, but you can also, as we saw, set it to have manual entry. So this is what the form would look like to our potential donor. As you can see here, we cannot see that form calculation widget. And when we click into the donation amount, it does put it into my products here. And again, you can change this title if you'd like automatically so that they can go in with any structured kind of donation levels. All right, so before we move on to the other features of the form, you'll notice here that I've selected a particular theme for this form. I've branded this form here with the Jotform logo, and I've done this all in our form designer here. So we just would click to the right, and you can see here that I have it within the page image, and you can create a theme that's completely on brand for your company. So this, of course, is a theme that we already have recurring here. But if you go in here, you can set the form color. We have our advanced designer. We also have a place where you can inject custom CSS if you'd like to do some hard coding on the form. And then, of course, as an enterprise user, you can save the look of this form as a theme template, and then you can share it with your organization only if you choose to do so. It's a really great way to ensure that all of your forms can carry the branding and identity that your donors, your volunteers, and your other form respondents really expect from your form. Okay, so let's move on to our settings tab just in the top menu bar here, clicking on settings, and then I'm going to click into the emails tab here. All right, so you can see here that I have two emails set up. One is the notification email. This is an internal email that goes to the form owner or an internal recipient. And then of course the autoresponder, which is the external email that goes to the form respondent. Both of these emails are fully customizable and they have some really great features to ensure that your messaging and submission data is being conveyed in a really safe, easy, automated, and on-brand way, both internally and externally. So I'm just going to click here on this pencil icon to edit the autoresponder email for this example, but please keep in mind that the changes are similar to how you would interact with the notification email as well. So since this autoresponder email is sent to our form respondents, you can fully customize the email body here, which I've done, so that it meets your organizational standards. You can even get it down to the source code within the email. In our other tabs here, you can specify the sender name within recipients so that they can, if they're expecting it from you particularly, you can make sure that your sender name is the correct one there. And then if we hop into the advanced tab, we scroll down to the bottom, you can also add in your own SMTP email server to completely white label the emails and reassure your respondents as you would be the expected sender. Also within the advanced tab, we can enable a PDF attachment of the submission data to be sent alongside the email. You'll notice here I have these two options in this example, and I only have the one selected here. So with this feature, you can create customized PDFs, and select which PDF sends to which respondent. So in this example, I've created an internal PDF with some branding elements only to be attached to the notification email, and a customized donor receipt PDF to only be attached to the autoresponder email. So this would be the internal submissions. You can see that it has all the submission details here, but you can also go in and you can customize it within the PDF designer. You can customize the PDF settings. And then of course we have our super easy drag and drop here if we do want to add any extra elements, either from our basic elements or from our form fields here. We can also fully adjust the size and location and orientation of where the different fields are on that PDF. And of course, the donor receipt here, this is the one that's attached to the autoresponder email. We can brand this as we'd like. This, of course, is an additional field here. So we can go in and just make sure that whoever we're sending the emails to are seeing the PDFs that we would like them to. You can also customize, if we go back into our internal document, within the PDF settings, you can customize the name of the PDF upon download. It just ensures that it matches any existing file naming conventions that your organization might already have. All right. Speaking of data, there's a couple of different ways that we can view it, including our tables spreadsheet type view. So if we click, oh, my apologies, you can see here that this is our tables view here, or our inbox view as well, which is super easy to navigate in our drop-down menu here. From here, there's so much you can do to interact and optimize how your data appears and is utilized for your organizational purposes. You can easily download your submission data to your advice for internal record keeping, and through it all, your data is securely stored within Jotform, and it can be viewed on demand, as we're seeing now in tables and our inbox view if we'd like. I did also want to mention that HIPAA compliance and form encryption is also available to keep sensitive data extra secure within your server. If we head back to our drop-down menu here, we'll see our app builder. I did want to take a quick minute to say that you can also utilize, as Lainey had mentioned previously, our Jotform app builder. For ease of use, you can collect data and information on mobile devices, especially like the form builder. Jotform apps has drag and drop functionality, fully customizable appearance and interface. And as Lainey mentioned, it is a no-code app maker. All right, I'll keep that open here. Another great way to utilize your data, aside from the tables inbox as well, is through reporting. So we have several different reporting options available, but to present your data, you can use a visual report like the one that I have here for this example to report and track on your analyze analyze your submissions in real time. So this is also fully customizable. You can see that it looks very similar to what we've seen in the form builder and the PDF editor. And you can drag and drop the different fields within here. You can also customize the look and feel of the report exactly the way that you want it. You can see here that it will represent the data in several different ways. And when you go in, you can go in and you can have total control of how this data appears within the chart itself. You can also move these around in a drag and drop functionality. And once you have it looking exactly the way that you'd like it, you can publish it publicly. So you can share it with people outside of your server or your organization, and share it externally if you wish. All right, so this report here, you can see that I've gone in, I have the layout settings here. I also have the report builder. We can customize the background, the logo, just to make sure that it's completely on brand. And then we can go in, of course, since this is a donation collection form, we can go in and we can see exactly what kind of donations we responded. We can even get down to the emails and the names of who has been our donors here, especially if you have repeat donors. All right, so let's move on to Jotform approvals. So to get to Jotform approvals, we could go in here, click on this from the drop-down menu, or we would also find it within the settings, approval flows section of our form builder. I do already have one pulled up here. So Jotform approvals helps you to automate your workflows, and it turns approvals into streamlined tasks for your team to complete. So I've pre-built a branching approval in this example form. You can see here that I have multiple approvers who receive the approval task upon form submission. This one here is approve and sign, so this approver will be required to approve and provide their signature to complete this task. This approver here only needs to click the approval button. You can have it both, or you can have it one or the other there, but I've merged these two branches so that if I receive an answer from approver 1 or approver 2, it will take any of those approvers and will take it and move it on to the final approval step. So you can add conditional branches if you'd like. And you can see here that it's a drag and drop functionality. So we can have it so that there's a triggering field within the form so that it moves along the workflow here. You can add other approval tasks as you like. You can even include an approval report, or if you'd like, you can add a Jotform signed document to your workflow if you choose to do so after certain tasks have been completed. The approval flow can be as large, as expansive, or as basic if you'd like, depending on the number of tasks that you input into the workflow, and of course, the number of approvers that you have. Okay. That is our approval flows here. And from there, I'm just going to jump back into the form builder quickly. We're going to talk about Jotform prefills. We head into the Publish tab here. We go to Prefill here. Jotform prefills can also help to streamline your workflow by easily, securely pre-populating your form with data. So this is especially useful if you have, say, repeat donors or volunteers. All right, so we're in the prefill tab here, and you can see that we have a multitude of different prefill options, including our SSO prefill, which as an enterprise user with SSO set up on your server, you can enable to first authenticate your form respondent before they even access the form, just for that extra layer of security if you wish. As you can see, there's other prefill options, including popular CRM prefills, or you can manually prefill the form yourself and then send the unique link to your desired respondent. All of the links are kept and managed within the screen. As you can see here, I already have a link set up for John Smith. I would simply need to copy this link and send it to John for him to access the form and fill out the rest of it. If we click into it here, you can see that I've already filled out some of John's information there. This would be how he would see it. He would just need to fill it out and submit it to us. Okay, so this form builder there. Now let's click into a section of our Enterprise Admin Console, our Settings tab. We can get to the admin console by clicking our avatar, clicking admin console, and as a server admin, it would come up this way. The admin console is where the server admins, like myself, have full visibility over what's happening on your server from a user, form, and teams standpoint here, where they can manage the teams and the members within those teams, including the forms that are owned by that team as an entity. You can also have analytical insight into your form across the board, or sorry, into your server across the board there. But we're going to talk about our settings tab here. So this is where you would customize the look of your server, set your custom domain. Of course, because this is our marketing server here, we have this as marketing.jotform.com, but this is where you can completely white label your server to make sure that it reflects your brand exactly the way that you like it. And you can also enable extra security options, including, let's say, SSO login, which authenticates each person that logs onto your server via your set SAML single sign-on provider here, as it mentions. Of course, this is just the tip of the iceberg of Jotform's functionalities and features. Jotform Enterprise can help streamline workflows, automate processes, securely collect data, and so much more. Thank you so much for your time today, and I will pass it back over to Lainey.
Great. Thank you so much, Kat. That was fantastic. Let me just get back to our presentation. All right. Okay, so as promised, we have a bunch of resources for you. We'd really encourage you to check these out for additional information and ideas. The first is our latest white paper, Technology for Nonprofits, Building Trust and Increasing Impact. It was shared in our recent newsletter, but if you don't get our newsletter, you can also find that on our website under the Jotform Enterprise Resources section. And then also on Jotform's blog, you'll find a case study featuring how the Arbor Day Foundation is using Jotform Enterprise to scale their operations. And then if you're new to Jotform and just getting started, or you want to brainstorm some other ideas, we have several nonprofit form templates on jotform.com, and that sort of highlights how other people are using the platform. And then finally, as I mentioned earlier, this webinar will be posted to our YouTube channel. So if you've not subscribed, I highly recommend doing that, and you'll be notified of all future updates. All right, at this time, I'd like to check in with Morgan and see if we have any questions from the audience.
We do. All right. Well, thank you so much, Lainey and Kat. That was very comprehensive and a great overview. We do have a bunch of questions. Lainey, thank you for mentioning that the session will be recorded and available. That question has come up a few times. So as Lainey mentioned, just to reiterate that you can check out youtube.com/thejotform to find all videos from us. This should be up there within the next day or two. We will also send a follow-up message in about a week with a link to the recording. So I wanted to mention that first. We also have a couple of questions about payment processors. So one question is, are there extra fees for using Jotform payment processing?
No, so there's no extra fees, and there's no minimum requirement for any kind of amount that you're going to be collecting. But yes, there's no third-party fees to use any of our payment integrations.
Another question was, are you able to set up 2 or more payment settings? So payment gateways like PayPal and Stripe, for example.
You can do that. Per each form, you are able to have one payment gateway. However, you can use a multi-form approach to collect multiple payments really easily.
Great. And then one other question about payments. Somebody's asking if collecting donations is only available to enterprise subscribers.
No, it's not. It's unique to the payment integration there in regards to the payment type, but collecting donations is not exclusive to Jotform Enterprise.
Oh, great. Moving on to another topic, I think that's all of our payment integrations questions. I'll scan the list again in a second here. There's also a question I know at some point, I think, Kat, you mentioned HIPAA compliance. Somebody's asking if they can enable HIPAA compliance to collect protected health information.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And within HIPAA compliance, you can also toggle on and off per field the PHI there. So if you do have some that isn't that doesn't need to be protected under that compliance, you can toggle that off on a per field basis. But yes, absolutely, we do have HIPAA compliance available.
Great. There are also a number of questions about cost, which of course is, I think, especially important to nonprofits. So definitely want to cover that. Are there any discounts that we offer for nonprofits?
Yeah, so we do offer discounts to qualifying nonprofits. They are eligible. So the discounts vary by plan. I know there's a lot of people that are looking at different levels. There's information on our website, so I encourage people to go and look at that, or you can also contact our enterprise sales team.
Great. Yeah, and hopefully that covers it for cost questions. I think that that's the best advice there, is to contact the enterprise sales team. We have a question here about cloud storage, so completely jumping topics. Where is data that you collect with Jotform stored?
Yeah, so data with Jotform on the enterprise side, you have your own dedicated server environment. We do integrate with Google Cloud, and we also have a backup Oz system as well. And then the server locations can be local as well if there is compliance issues. For any more details, though, I would also suggest, if you do have kind of a specific server and data storage questions, please reach out to enterprise sales as well. They'll be able to give you a little bit more information, but we do have it secured and in the cloud with local server locations for different countries and different locations around the world.
Another person had a related question. Is there a maximum storage limit for enterprise users?
No. So with a Jotform Enterprise, you have unlimited storage for any kind of uploads, data, forms. You can create an unlimited amount of forms. You can store your submissions to an unlimited amount. So Jotform Enterprise is unlimited in that sense.
Great. Wow, there's a lot of questions coming in, so I'm trying to skim them all. There are a couple of questions about integrations. Is it possible to integrate Jotform with other platforms?
Yeah, absolutely. We do have a long list of direct integrations that Jotform will directly integrate with. We do also have connections with third-party connector apps like Zapier or Microsoft Power Automate that can then get the information through to your selected integration. Of course, we're always looking to expand our offerings. So if there is something, we can always submit a feature request to our engineering team for direct integration. But in that case, we do have some other solutions in the interim. We also do have API capabilities. So if, say, you're using a CRM that does accept API posts and calls, you can take a look at our API documentation and see if that would work to send the submission data through our API functionalities as well.
Awesome. So I'm not finding any related questions in the remainder, so I'm going to throw out a bunch of random questions. Somebody's asking about virtual raffles. Do we have templates for virtual raffles, and where can they find those?
We have over 10,000 different templates within our template library. So I'm going to say that there probably is a template available there, but we do have a template library that you can check out even before you sign on to Jotform. So I would recommend taking a look there. But of course, as I mentioned, if you do go in and you create a form that you want for a raffle, that you want to only be used on your server for a raffle, you can actually create that as a template and share it within your server. So there are a couple of different options there. But yes, please take a look at our template library. We have a ton of different options for you there.
Yeah, I guarantee there's a raffle example in there somewhere. Calendaring. Does Jotform have a calendaring tool?
Yes, so there's a couple of different options there. Within the form builder itself, we do have an appointment field. We also have some different date widgets that you can use for booked appointments. And then within the tables, we do have a calendar view that you can add as a new tab just to organize those different appointments that are booked on the corresponding form. So we do also have an integration with Google Calendar where you can send any appointments that are received on your form through the Google Calendar integration and have that appear on your Google Calendar.
Awesome. think I saw one more question that I haven't gotten to yet. Give me 1 second here. Oh, is it possible to link Jotform in Salesforce or maybe through Zapier?
Yeah, we do have a direct integration with Salesforce that is super easy to set up, whether the object that you're going to be updating within Salesforce with the submission data is a company or a contact. We do have a direct integration there, but we do also have a Zapier integration if you prefer to do that through Zapier, just in regards to fields. So there are a couple of different ways, but yes.
And one more so far. There may be one more. I'm still skimming the list, but are the styles that you showed off with creating the form, Kat, are those only available for enterprise accounts, or can they be used with other Jotform accounts as well?
You can use them with other Jotform accounts. The one thing that I do want to mention is that sharing your theme to your organization only is exclusive to an enterprise account there. So that's super important to consider enterprise if you're wanting something that's on brand. However, we do have that theme and template library that non-enterprise account users can use. And you can inject custom CSS into our classic forms. The one thing is we have a card form format that's one question per page, just due to the way the format is. It doesn't take custom CSS, but everything else would, and then you can save that and clone that as needed.
Great. And then one more question about Jotform sign. Is there a limit to the number of signed documents that you can send or receive?
With Jotform Enterprise, there is no limit there. As with everything with Enterprise, you don't have a limitation on the amount that you can send or receive. And the same thing with the amount that you can collect. You can collect unlimited signatures with Jotform Enterprise.
Great. One last question just came in. Is it possible to add a payment for an annual subscription?
Yes, absolutely. Most of our payment integrations do have that option. Of course, it depends on the payment integration that you will be adding to your form. But as you could see with Stripe, we did have the self-subscription there, and you can choose from weekly, monthly, or yearly on most of our payment subscriptions. What I would do is just check that your chosen payment integration does offer that. And we have that widely available within the form builder, but also within our user guides as well.
Great. So I think that's about wraps up the question. Ask your question. We didn't get to your question. I'm going to throw it back to Lainey right now. I think she will have some advice on getting any additional questions answered. So Lainey, back to you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Morgan. Appreciate you sifting through all those questions and making sure we get them all covered. And Kat, again, appreciate you handling the demo and answering all those questions as well. So if your question didn't get answered, or if you think of additional questions, I would strongly encourage you to go to our website. There is a robust amount of resources there, from the blog to forums. Our YouTube page also has a ton of videos. So whether you like learning about things through reading or watching, there are resources available to you. And again, this webinar will be posted to our YouTube channel. So if you missed something or you want to scroll back, you certainly have the opportunity to do that. So thanks everyone for joining us. We hope you're inspired to put these ideas into practice, and we look forward to seeing you on an upcoming webinar. Take care.